You know those people, right? The founders, the creators, the leaders. You look at them and you just wonder, how do they do it all? It seems like they take on more and more, but somehow end up with more time. It's a total paradox. Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
So yeah, let's start with that central mystery. Why does it feel like some people have unlocked this secret level in the game of time, while so many of us feel stuck on stage one, just forever busy, always trying to catch up? The answer, as you're about to see, has almost nothing to do with waking up earlier or finding some new productivity app.
And this is the most important part to get. We are not here to talk about productivity hacks. This goes way deeper. We're going to explore what I call time physics. You know, the invisible mechanics, the hidden forces that really decide who gets freedom and who stays trapped by their own effort. Okay, so our first stop is a really fundamental signal that most people just completely miss. It's all built around a core misunderstanding of how effort and value are connected. This right here, this is where the two paths, the path of the overwhelmed and the path of the time architect, really start to split apart. Here it is. This is the fundamental split. On one side, you've got the default setting for pretty much all of us. If you want to create more value, you have to be more involved. You got to put in more hours, more personal effort. But the high performers, they operate on a completely different signal. For them, real scalable value is created when it's decoupled from their personal time and their presence. The goal isn't to do more. It's to build things that do more without you. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly illustrates the trap of that common belief. We're all taught to make ourselves indispensable, to be the one person with all the answers. But in the world of time physics, being the bottleneck, being that essential gear in the machine, it's a prison. The more the whole system relies on your personal touch, the less freedom you actually have.
I know this idea of decoupling value from your presence, it can feel a little abstract. So let's take a look at how this pattern of detachment actually shows up in the real world across all sorts of high-performance fields.
And once you start looking for this pattern, you see it everywhere. It's the founder who builds a company that keeps growing without them needing to be there every single day. It's the operator who designs workflows that totally replace their own manual work. It's the creative who automates all the boring, repetitive tasks so they can focus purely on the imaginative stuff. The pattern is always the same. They build assets that work for them.
So how does this actually translate to your day-to-day life? Well, the clearest place to see the difference between these two mindsets is the calendar. I mean, it is a perfect reflection of how someone sees and uses their time. Let's just compare them.
Just look at this comparison. It's stark. The overwhelmed person's calendar, it's a mess of reactive meetings. Their whole focus is on doing the immediate work, and their goal is just to survive the day, clear the inbox. Their sense of value comes from being needed for every little thing. But the architect, they're playing a completely different game. Their focus is on designing the work. Their calendar is filled with these proactive blocks for building systems. And their goal isn't to answer every email, it's to build a system where most of those emails become totally unnecessary. Their value lies in making themselves obsolete.
So what happens if you don't get this? What's the real cost of tying your value to your personal effort? Well, the consequences they're pretty significant, and they just compound over time.
It leads to this trap that I call the faster cage. This is what happens when you get really, really good at being busy. You answer emails faster, you burn through your to-do list quicker, but you're just running faster inside the exact same cage. You're chasing efficiency, but without leverage, all that efficiency just earns you, well, more work. It doesn't buy you one single ounce of freedom.
And the end result of living inside that faster cage is burnout. You just become completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of it all. You become invisible because you're too busy doing the work to engage in this strategic, high-leverage thinking that really matters. And the crazy irony is, the person who tries so hard to be indispensable by doing everything, they eventually become the most replaceable. Why? Because they haven't built anything that lasts beyond their own daily effort.
But there is another way, and this brings us to the mindset of the architect. It's all about shifting your thinking from being just an operator of your time to being a designer of it. Let's break down the core pillars of how they do this.
First up, leverage. The architect doesn't think in terms of addition, where 1 hour of effort equals 1 unit of output. No, they think in terms of multiplication. They're always asking, what's the one action I can take today that will keep producing results long after I'm done with it? That could be writing a piece of code, creating a training document, or hiring a key person. It's about investing your effort, not just spending.
Second, systems. The architect knows that personal discipline and motivation are fragile. They come and go, right? So instead of trying to rely on willpower, they build systems that become the new default. They create automated workflows, clear processes, and delegated responsibilities. These structures are robust. They work on your best days and on your worst days, totally replacing the need for that constant, draining effort.
And this is what it's all about. This is the true goal. It's not about creating some perfectly optimized, color-coded calendar that's packed with tasks from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's just a prettier cage. The real point of leverage and systems is ownership. It's about creating freedom of choice. Time is not a container you have to fill, it's a resource you're meant to command.
So, to bring this all home, I want to leave you with 3 simple but really powerful questions. And look, these aren't meant to be answered quickly. They're designed to help you really reflect on your own relationship with time, to see where you might be trapped, and maybe more importantly, how you might get free. Okay, first question. What should not be you? Take a hard look at your week. What tasks, what roles, what responsibilities are you holding on to that could be automated, delegated, or maybe just eliminated entirely? What part of your work is trapping you in the doing instead of freeing you up for the designing?
Second, what runs without you? Now, this is the ultimate test of leverage and systems. Look at your projects, your team, your life. If you were to just disappear for a week or a month, what would keep functioning and even thriving? And what would grind to a complete halt? The answer to that question reveals what you truly own versus what currently owns you.
And finally, probably the most important question of all. What would you do with real time? I mean, if you actually did it, if you successfully detached your value from your presence, if you built systems that created real space, what would you fill that space with? This isn't about doing nothing. It's about earning the freedom to do the things that truly matter. And that's a question worth thinking about.